going on? My name is Bobby, and I'm doing one of the reasons why I'm doing video is to show women from a man's perspective how we see things, and basically help to give most of you an idea because of how men think and how we operate. Because we live in a society that's predominantly catering and pandering to women, and we've been inundated with a lot of you know information and messages about women and what we should do for a woman and what are women looking for. But one of the main thing that we are forgetting is about men. What do we want? And because there is no McGregor, like I said, lately now we have guys like Kevin Samuels and O'Shea Du Jackson and other guys out there that are doing it as well. It's starting to, we are becoming we are creating our own movement out there to fight against society who's really literally throwing us under the bus and completely disregarding us and treating us like we don't matter, right? And man is being disrespected by society and also by the feminist movement, or literally throwing man under the bus and just continuously disrespecting and just really belittling men and treat us like what we don't matter, and what our thoughts and our feelings and what we want to do doesn't matter. And so there's this been like lately, small group of men coming together now and starting to put our message out there. And like we see with Kevin Samuels now, a lot of women starting to listen to Kevin Samuels and realize that yes, some of the things that he says stings, but the truth is with it, and realize that guys like Kevin, like guys like Derek Jackson are fake and liar. A guy like Steve Harvey, he's a comedian and he's trying to do something, but a lot of these men are missing the point of what really, really matters. And what we realize is that society has been pandering to women and telling women lies that what they want to hear to make them feel good. But at the end of the day, the results is completely different, right? So I have done a few videos now based on a lot of things that's going on in relationships and what's going on out there in society. So and I've done a few topics so far about a lot of things. If you follow some of the videos, you're going to see some of the videos that I've done before. That's literally talking about that, right? But today, I want to talk about something that we hear. I know a lot of women say, and one of that is accept me for who I am. Now, a statement like that to me says about somebody who doesn't want to change who they are. So they rather stay where they are and they accept you to either come up or go down to where they are, and end up just basically accepting them for who they are and just going with it, even if it doesn't feel right with you. And one of the thing is, you're looking at a woman who's overweight, right? And she's on the dating scene and she's trying to, meet a man, right? And a guy see her and, pretty much kind of let her know that, listen, it's not going to work. And she would turn around to the guy, or she met a guy, and this guy wants to date her, but the guy said, you know what? In order for this to work, you have to lose all that weight. And because she doesn't want to take all the time and put in the work to lose the weight, she would turn around and said, why don't you accept me for who I am? Now, that statement itself, for a man, if a woman turns around to you and say, accept me for who she are, she's overweight and she's unattractive, then that tells you right then and there that this woman has no intentions of working out. She had no intentions of changing. So you better accept this as if this is what you're going to get if you decide to deal with me, right? And you know, I would literally at that point, I would head for the door and I would tell men out there that no, because you have to look at this way from another perspective and from a male perspective. If a guy was making $45,000 a year, right, and he likes his job and he doesn't want to go any further, then he meets a woman who's making $100,000 a year, and she meets him and. She said, you know what, if you want to be with me, you're going to have to make more money than that because I'm not going to accept that. And he turns around to her and say, you know what, why don't you accept me for who I am? I mean, I'm a nice guy. I can be a good husband, a good father to her kids. So why not just, accept that, I mean, I'm a good guy and, we can make this work. Accept me for who I am. nine times out of ten, knowing modern days women, they won't go for that. That guy would never see that woman again. She would go off. And a lot of women in society would agree with that point. They would agree to the point that why would you want to stay with a man who only make $45,000 a year and he doesn't want to even try to make more than that? Go find a guy who's going to make that. And this is the reason why, like we've seen how where it is in life in society where why a lot of women are single because on one end if I'm overweight like somebody like Lizzo, if I'm overweight and I'm unattractive, accept me for who I am. Body positivity, accept this for who I am instead of, what you would like. You know what I mean? And then that, in from a woman's point of view, should be acceptable because if a woman is overweight and she doesn't want to lose weight, you should accept her for who she is. But when we flip the script and look at the other end of the spectrum, where the man is saying, "Listen, I'm making $40,000 to $45,000 a year, and this is all I want to work for, and I'm okay with this. Accept me for who I am, not for how much money I make," then a woman would write that off and call that bullshit. No, I'm not going to accept you for making this amount of money. I want you to step up and make $100,000 a year. So, like I say, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. If a man has to step up and make more money in order for a woman to accept him, then why can't the same be on the other end, where the woman accept the fact that this man don't want you to be overweight, not attractive. This man wants you to lose weight and look attractive. Because that's what he wants. And this is where we have this double standard situation where, society is putting that women should do whatever they want. They do whatever they want. You have to accept that. But on the other end, no, she don't have to accept you for who you are. You have to raise your standards and get up to the level that she wants, that she thinks is acceptable in order for it to work. And this is why there's been a big disconnect and a big divide in men and women in relationships nowadays, because one can do it, it's okay for one to do it, but the other one is not okay. And this is where this thing that I'm saying, accept me for who I am, is a double standard situation when you look in society where we can accept one sex for doing whatever they want and we should accept it, but the other one is a high standards, right? And what we're noticing now is that men continuously have to get our game up because society is not giving us a break, right? Society is checking us, the feminist movement is checking us, and there's other guys, beta male guys, that are checking us, and there's other guys out there like men that are checking us. So men is being put, obviously, on in a lot of situations, men has to step their game up, because nobody wants to play with a man. Listen, this is what it is. Go with it. But with women now, it's the hand holding, it's the pandering, and to me, that in itself is complete bullshit. Right? If we're gonna accept one for the other, we have to accept both. It's like have two kids. A single mother with two kids, you're going to cater to the girl and then treat the guy like he's garbage. They're both your kids. So you have what's good for one is good for the other. So if you're a fair-minded person, you look at it and say, okay, it has to be right across the board. But in society, that's not the way it is. So if you're a person that's overweight, unattractive, and you're lazy and you don't want to work and you're going out there telling people to accept you for who you are, then you have to accept other people the way they are, because everybody come with their stuff. Right? And if you're not going to accept it, then fine. If you're going to hold yourself at a high standard, that's great. And look at it that way. So if you come to a man, his standard is higher than you, and he's saying that you have to do A, B, and C, then accept that. Because you won't accept a guy who's making less, so you finally meet a guy who's making more. If he says you want to be a stay-at-home wife, cook, clean, take care of the kids, and run the house, then you have to accept that and say, you know what? I'm gonna have to accept that for what it is, and don't look at it as, oh, he's putting me down or disrespecting me, as belittling me, because at the end of the day, people put too much negative ideas and beliefs behind certain things, and then read it in a way where it's counterproductive, right? So if you as a person want people to accept you with your flaws, then you on the other hand have to accept somebody with theirs, because there's no human being is perfect and we all come with our stuff. So if we're going to go out there and say, accept me for who I am, then you better be willing to accept the other person for who they are, because in this world, it's not just me and my side and that what matters. It's about everybody else in totality, and especially people you're going to deal with. And this is why the feminist movement has become very, very, very destructive, because the feminist movement is very one-sided, and they're here on the side of double standard, because as long as it works for us, it's great, but as long as it's going against our beliefs and whatnot, then it's not good. We accept you you know, for who you are when you're going to our standards. But if you're not there, we won't accept you. Accept us for all our baggage. We're overweight, we're older, we can't give you kids, we don't want to respect you, we don't want to do anything, but you're supposed to accept that and go with that. But if you, on the other hand, want me to be a wife and stay at home and mom and do all that, I won't accept that. And this is where the divide and the whole thing where it is there's a widening gap in the relationship market where man and woman are not seeing eye to eye, right? So that's just my topic on this video. And like I said, if you have any comment, put in the comment section below. And as always, I'll see you on the next video. See you then.